Well, it's great to be in Leeds, and I think what attracted me was the idea they were asking me to talk about something I didn't usually talk about, which is, why support arts and culture? So it was a bit of an opportunity to sound off on something I feel quite keen on. What I wanted to get across was a really simple idea, which is that arts and culture aren't there to cheer us up or just make us feel better or to enjoy when we've got enough money to enjoy them. They're all of those things. But what I wanted to say is that actually arts and culture are absolutely essential to the whole notion of a community, to being a good citizen. They teach you to be a responsible citizen. There's a slogan for you. You defend putting the money in because to deal with hardship, and I was actually partly thinking about pandemic, really. You don't just need the physical and material things. You don't just need the vaccines. Of course you need that. But you also need to get your head around it. You need to think, what's happening? How does this make sense for me? How do I face this? And you do that in the head, and what helps you do it is arts and culture. I think art does change things, but what I'm even more interested in is the way it makes us reflect on ourselves. Now, that's of course part of change. What are we doing here? How are we facing it? And how do we want to act differently? I was really pleased to discover that David, who's a good friend of mine, was here because over the last couple of years we've had some great discussions about what public statues, for example, do. And one of the things I mentioned briefly in my talk was how we deal with that bit of the culture wars and why it's important. I think access is really important. It wasn't the main thing I broached in what I said because I'd have needed 5 hours to do that. But I think that it seemed to me that the bottom line is, if you think that arts and culture are essential for us to be, all of us, fully operating citizens, and I don't just mean what we would sometimes call high arts, but I mean everything. I mean the creative world. Then I think part of what stands in the way is money. Right? I think it's very easy to say, there are some people around here, they're not interested in Rodin. Well, maybe they're not, but they're interested in other things, and what they need is some resource. And I see an absolutely simple equation. If arts and culture add up to enabling people to be fully functioning citizens, then it's obvious that we have to fund them properly. I think it's great to have a festival like this, and to have a festival that's not just in London and the South East. One of the reasons I wanted to come was that, look, actually this is in a different place and it's getting a different audience, and actually that makes it more exciting, New people, different ages, different backgrounds. It's wonderful, and it kind of proves my point. Arts and culture are essential, guys. I think that Leeds Town Hall is one of the most extraordinary and wonderful buildings in the whole of the country, and that's my favourite bit of Leeds.